Welcome to the updated Overwatch 2 map tier list. I made one of these almost a year ago now, and I think there's been quite a few map reworks. In fact, there's been a couple new maps, and I've also reached different ranks, played the game more, learned different characters, and so I've had a bit more of an exposure to the game at a wider level. So I'm going to try think personally, because it's my map tier list, but I also want to try be close to objective, if that's even possible. So I just want to look at a map and think, how well designed is this map? Obviously, my personal bias will creep into this, but I think if I was to do a tier list of just my personal favorites, it would be very different to what I think is the best. I'll give some context to who I am so you can understand where it comes from. I'll put up a time code if you want to just skip to the tier list. I am predominantly a DPS player who plays a lot of Sombra and Tracer and used to play a lot more Ashe, right? So I like high mobility movement. I have hit Masters 4 recently on DPS, but I was Masters 2 ages ago, and I've also been Masters 3 on support here. So my knowledge is more around that tier. It's not super high elo, but it is, you know, it's a bit more than the average. So that gives a bit more of my personal opinion, and also because I play those high mobility characters, that affects a lot. All right, let's just jump into it. Let's just jump right into it. Circuit Royale to me is a D tier map. I would love to put it F. I think personally I really don't like it, but I think this map is a more interesting map to watch be played, and actually has recently become a lot more creative than it used to, because I just feel like that Sigma Widow comp and those like Pokia comps are a lot less viable than they used to. I actually have seen Rhine be so much better here than he ever was before. In fact, Mei feels pretty good on this map. You can play dive. Like, you can actually do a lot more on this map than you used to, but I still think its design is inherently awkward, and it is awful to play for most people and most characters. But I actually quite like watching Circuit at the higher level in OWCS. I think it's quite a fun map to watch that way, but that doesn't really affect this too much. But I would put it in D, because I think, personally, I hate it, but I don't think it's as bad as other maps. Dorado is a map I've secretly started to love a lot more, and sat around here for some reason, and I don't know why. I think it's the interesting first point. It's a very weird point, but when you learn it, it can be really fun. And I don't know, I like the different heights, and I like the flank routes. It's quite fun, but I think this map does suffer greatly actually because of that. It's a map that enables the way I play a lot, but I think for the vast majority of players, this map doesn't work that well for them. I don't see people loving Dorado, and I understand why. I think the first point is awkward. As much as I think it's interesting, that doesn't mean it isn't super awkward to play. It, you know, even the reworks have helped a little bit, but I don't know. I think inherently the map is just weird. I encourage you to play more Dorado, maybe like it more, but yeah, the weird is the best way to put it, and I think second point is a bit poor in the fact that it's so hyper-focused on the top level, whereas the bottom is just like never really worth playing for. And I think that is flawed design of the map. Havana, Havana is bad as well. I don't think it's F though. Look, Havana third, garbage point, terrible. I think second's actually alright. And then, no, first is also quite bad. No, this map's actually really bad. I think I'm thinking about second point way too hard. First can absolutely suck. You have the two flank options, the left room and then that right room. The problem is these all lead to one lane technically. So maps are usually designed into 3 separate lanes. So you know your main one in the middle, that's where kind of a lot of people hold, and it's where the main fight is going to take place. And then you've got your left lane, your right lane, and these are usually where you flank and you off angle from and stuff like that. Havana has these technically on first point, but both of their openings look into main in a way that you're exposed, not in a way that you're angling, in a way that you just kind of open yourself up to be shot. So I think it's not that good. Sombra is actually pretty decent on this map, just because you can invis and kind of cheat your way past. Tracing can kind of cheat her way past as well as blinks. But it's a pretty bad map. Junkertown's also pretty shit. Junkertown's pretty bad. This is also just a map that's just, I think, unfun to play. I think it's better than Circuit, so I'll put it like that. But Junkertown's also just pretty bad. It's not even just like long sight lines, which enable snipers. It's not that playing against like snipers on this map is awful. It's that because they're all long-ranged angles, most of the characters will always feel like they're not playing at their effective level. And again, you've got to take into account I play a lot of Tracer Sombra. This map can feel really, really weird for those characters. Honestly, you'd think first is the most annoying, but second and third are so tough on Tracer because it's like the only route Tracer can take, and any of these flanking characters and these DPS characters can take, is one route. There's like one route, and you can just easily get forced out of it and easily die. It really feels awful. I don't like it. Again, I don't know where the second works. That you almost are pushing it, like the attackers come from high ground to drop high ground to then fight people who are just above them, and it feels weird. You kind of have to play in a weird way. I just don't like Junkertown. I'm gonna just keep it D. Rialto. I used to love Rialto. This used to be like my absolute favorite map, but I'm beginning to realize, I think first point, but like just before you're about to cap, like that area, that big open space is way too open, that it like really, really, really can suck on a lot of characters. It feels like every position you try take is just too far from someone, and then to get close to them, you have to basically stand out in the open, and it can just kind of suck that way. And then also, second point, crossing the bridge. As much as it seems like a noob trap, it does suck. On a lot of characters, it does just suck to get over that bridge. Like, eventually you'll do it, but you don't have any fun doing it. And I think fun is very important. That bridge is bad, man. Like, it's just an open space, and the enemies can shoot you from a massive room with lots of cover, which kind of sucks. Third's just kind of boring, basic ass map. I think it's an okay map. It lands itself kind of in the Dorado spot, where it's like, most of the time it's fine, but you really can get some awful holds and just like annoying things happening on this map. But I think it's a little better. Route, to me, is the definition of a C tier map. Look, I can't think of I can't think of like a massive flaw, but I also can't think of anything good about the map. So like, I don't hate playing Route necessarily, but I would happily also never play the map again. I don't know. I don't get it. I think second point can be quite fun, but I just find this map so boring, and that's almost worse than like how Dorado, Rialto are at least like a little more distinctive. Even if they can be annoying, they're not boring maps. Whereas Route is like, oh, okay, let's play fucking Route, I guess. Sure, let's have chicken, rice, and peas for dinner. Like, do you know what I mean? That's what Route is. It's just a boring ass map. Shambali is dog shit. Like, I just don't see. There's not like most escort maps are quite weak. I don't like most escort maps. I think we know that, but they have a redeemable point or a couple redeemable points. Shambali doesn't have a single point on it that I go, you know what, that one was okay to play. Third is garbage. I don't even know what they tried with this. Yeah, we'll put this flank route that doesn't really go anywhere, and you have to commit to it because you can't go back. Like, I don't even know. Second is like, let's make a really enclosed space with no cover that you have to push the cart between. Yeah, that sounds like fun. What? First is like a staircase of hell, and then the open abyss. It feels awful to attack and defend, and that is when you have a bad map. I can't tell you if I prefer attacking or defending on Shambali. I have no idea. I literally don't know what I like more. Both just feel bad. Whereas at least on Havana, I can tell you I prefer defending, and I prefer defending on Circuit, and I prefer attacking on Junkertown. Shambali, I have no clue. Literally couldn't tell you. Gibraltar, this is a hard map to play. It's very common, I'm gonna put it back, to get to either for no one to cap first point, because it's tough. It's a weird map, and I kind of enjoy the fact it's weird. I'd put it as one of the better escort maps because of that. It's a weird map. Do I love it? Not really. But it enables a lot of characters that I enjoy, and so there's that. But overall, if we're talking design-wise, I think it's too weird and niche that it, like, fails design. Maps shouldn't be weird and niche, because everyone has to play them, and everyone has to play all their characters on it. I'm okay with maps that are, so like, something like King's Row is more designed for the brawly style, and come on, give me a divey map that's actually good. I don't actually know. I can vote second. Not a bad point, but it's better if you play a mobile character on that point than the brawl comp. Right, That's fine. But Gibraltar just feels really specific, and it can not feel fun. Blizzard World, I'm going to put this in C tier. Actually, you know what? Blizzard World can go up here. You know what? Rialto can go down. Yeah, screw Rialto. Blizzard World's okay. I think First Point lets it down so massively. My god, I think First Point is so bad. And it's the reason I like Blizzard World. Third is okay. I quite like third. I think that little left space when attacking is actually usable and quite fun. And I honestly like the fact that you could commit really far right. Blizzard World is rough, to say at least. And what was I gonna say? Second's good. I like second. For some reason, I quite like second. It can be awkward. It can be weird. I think I like it because Sombra's not too bad. Sombra can kind of bypass a lot of it. But I'm gonna keep it B. I'm gonna keep it B. I'll see how I rate other maps. I think I'll keep it B. I think Eichenwald's A. Probably the strongest, like, payload map. I think first is not as bad as, like, people might say it is. You cap that point quicker than any point as well. I think. I don't know if it's the quickest point to cap, but it's one of. And so once you win one fight, you've pretty much won first point. Second's quite dynamic. You can actually play Brawl if you want to, like, speed yourself through the room, or you can just dive the high ground. I don't love third, but I understand it. It's just awkward for the characters I play. I think Eichenwald works. It works. I'll put it there. Hollywood. I fucking hate Hollywood. I just hate Hollywood. I don't know why. I don't think it's technically as bad as these two, but my god, do I actually hate Hollywood. I don't know. That map just is awkward and bad. Second's a piece of shit. First is a piece of shit, and so is third. Bro, I don't know. Maybe third's the best point. I don't like Hollywood. Nothing redeeming about it. It's choke slot. Second point's just weird. Kind of similar to the way Gibraltar's played, but worse. And then third is just choke slop again. Like, it's bad. It's a bad map. It's a really bad map. Here comes King's Row, the one everyone seems to love. It's okay. It's fine. I think third point kills this map, like, massively. And I think it's possible to get held at first while attacking for too long. Then it feels unfun. I don't know. I just think this map's quite outdated now and just feels really odd to play in 5v5. Third point sucks a lot and kills it. But yeah, it's B. I think King's Row is kind of a mid map, low key. I think it's kind of just like an alright map. Maybe I'm just used to it by now, but it's fine. Like, it's fine. I get why people want to love it. Like, I understand, I think. It's a very simple map. If you know what I mean? Like, it's a really simple map. I think maybe I'm bored of it, or like, I actually am bored of it. I am bored of it. And I think it's just objectively not as well designed as people might think it is. It really has a lot of weird parts. Midtown's F. Fuck Midtown, bro. Actually, screw this map. No, actually, just screw this map. There's not a redeemable point. There is not. This is like Shambali. Midtown is really bad. Nah, I haven't even met someone who likes Midtown. Like, at least with these, I get a person who goes, yeah, I kind of actually like Havana Circuit. I play a lot of Widow Hanzo. Fair enough. You know what? Go for you. But Midtown? Bro, Midtown just sucks. It just sucks. What even is first point? Low-key, Midtown feels like a Marvel Rivals map. Like, what are we doing here? It's such a bad map. Nambani? I don't know. On different days, I'd give you a different response for Nambani. I think it's objectively a very mid-tier map. First is not actually as bad as it feels. It's just quite difficult to attack and sometimes defend, because it's not a straightforward choke like a lot of the escort maps are, which makes it more interesting to play, but it makes it less simple, and so I think people tend to dislike it because of that. I think second's really straightforward though, and so is third. It's just kind of first that makes people think either good about Nabani or bad against Nabani, whereas the other 2 points are just like default map, whatever. I don't mind Nabani. It's pretty good for dive, and I like playing dive. So, C tier. Alright, my personal bias is I actually quite like this map because it's actually pretty good for Sombra. Like, there's a lot of weird little spots, but this map is quite bad. First point is kind of just stupid. It's like choke with a bridge on top, and then you go here and there's a choke with a bridge on top, and then there's a massive open point. Very weird. You gotta admit, holding and attacking first point just feels weird on both sides. You're like, am I holding this right? And you're like, how do I actually attack this? Do I just go under the bridge and force point? What do I do here? Do I have to clear the top first? Do I flat? And I think second's okay. Third is kind of miserable. But second's alright, I guess. I think if you play some specific characters, you might not like it, but... Hey man, I don't hate Antarctic. People hate this map. I think it's good, but it's probably a C tier map. Like, objectively speaking, Antarctic, all 3 points incentivize the exact same playstyle, and that is probably not good for a control map. I think a control map should be a little more dynamic than that. That'd be more interesting. We'll get to one that's like that, actually. But Antarctic is just kind of really good for like brawl, like May stuff, and some Ryan, Zarya, which I find really fun. And I'm okay with maps that incentivize that playstyle. But for the same reason, Gibraltar is nation specific, Antarctic is also nation specific. But I think all 3 points are quite bad. And then there's that one, is it sub-level? The one where you're inside. That one's so bad. Half the map isn't even used. That map's bad. Basan's also quite mid. No, Basan's bad. Bro, Basan's bad. Mecha base is kind of just garbage. Like, actual garbage. Mecha base is like freaking Antarctic sub-level, but worse. Mecha base is bad. I don't mind the, like, downtown one. It's okay. And then that other one, like the big open one with the gong in the middle. Not the gong, bell. Is a bit too open around the point that it's, like, kind of awkward at times. But it's not terrible. But it actually kind of is. But 2 of 3 of these are bad. And then one of them is just a bit iffy. So that to me is like top of D tier. Ilios. I quite enjoy Ilios. I think it's alright. It's fine. No, this map's so fine. I'd put it almost like this. Good. Actually, should I change it? Should I change the title? Okay. Lijiang's good. Look, it's not the best map in the entire game. Okay, pro players will lead you to believe Lijiang's the best map in the entire game. I don't like Night Market that much at all. And like it is sort of a basic map. But it is good, and I do enjoy Lijiang quite a lot, and I'd rather play Lijiang than most control maps. But it's not the best map in the entire game. Okay, it's alright. Nepal, I hate Sanctum, and that kind of kills a lot of the enjoyment. So I put it top of fine. I think Nepal is one of the maps I was talking about earlier, where I think it's actually a control map that incentivizes different playstyles. Sanctum you can dive on, but Brawl is probably stronger here, right? But then you get the other ones, and like Village, being able to rotate with your team really quickly is really good. So you could do the Brawl, but you have to be like smart with the sim to TP your team across, or you could start doing like Winston stuff. And then the other one, I don't really know. The other one you can kind of do is kind of Brawly again, but you kind of do both. But I think there's a bit more to this map. So I quite like Nepal for that. Oasis has University, which is really bad. And I also don't like Gardens that much. So top of mid. It is to me, this is like definitively a mid map. It's fine. It's serviceable. I'm not like complaining about Oasis, but I would probably rather a few other maps. So yeah. Samoa, shit's fine. One of the more interesting control maps. It feels like there's actually more going on here. Control maps are really straightforward. And really weird, but not really weird. Not really weird. They're like just kind of like basic ass maps. But Samoa actually, you know, Samoa's got a bit of depth to it. Let's put it like top of fine. It's better than Nepal. Something about it though, it's not my favorite. I don't know why. I just don't love Samoa as much as I wish I did. Codiceo, probably top of mid. I like Push, and Push is a really, really good game mode in my opinion. I don't know why, but I really like Push. I don't know if I'm complete minority by that, and I don't know what the reason is. I think it's because Push incentivizes rotation, like high mobility rotation, and that works a lot with what I play. But I'm not gonna lie to you, Codiceo is pretty fucking mid. Like, it's a doggy doo-doo map sometimes. But sometimes it's really good. So, hey, you take what you can. It's alright. Esperanza, okay. Top of good. Esperanza's really good. I think this map's really, yeah, this map's good. I think you can kind of play whatever you want on this map. You just have to, like, be smart and play it well. Fun to watch. Aesthetically, very pleasing. I haven't really taken aesthetics into account, but I think it does help. I think it helps. And yeah, it's not just kind of how I think a Push map should play. It feels really good. It just feels like a good map. New Queen Street, probably the weakest Push. I don't hate it, but I think the part... So, you know the first part of Push? Or the first part of the Push on New Queen Street, where there's the little, like, overpass bridge thing? Once you're past that, and you're into that, like, high ground, low ground situation, that part of the point, sucks. That part of the map, really bad. I don't find that fun at all. The flank routes are just way too wide. The high ground's way too oppressive. It's weird. I don't like it. But it's a mid. Renasapi is my first best map. Okay, look. Guys, give Renasapi a try. I know people like this map, but I don't think people like it nearly as much as they should. This is peak push. This is really peak push. You get to the push spot, right? When you meet the push spot, you have these 3 lanes. You have the one with the jump pad, and you have the one where there's the health pack where Larry blew up people, right? And then you have the middle, and it almost forms like a weird choke that you can fight on, like head to head. Or you can pressure from the side, pressure from the other side, rotate. The first part of the fight on Renasapi is actually really, really, really good. And then when you extend down more, you get 2 different rooms. So you can pressure from this far room, or you can pressure through the main room, or you can come all the way left and play on this really long sight line. So it has super long sight lines, close angles, and mid angles, rotation. It has everything. I'm sorry, this is how push should work. And as you move between different sections with the push bot, the map opens up and closes in different ways. So as you're attacking with the bot, you start getting new things, but you lose other stuff. And the defenders start gaining new stuff as the bot comes closer to you, but they also lose other angles. It works so well, and I don't know what they put into this map, but it works perfectly. Best map in the game. Atlas, good. I don't get to play it that much, but this is a really, really good Flashpoint map. And a good map in general. There's a lot of detail here. So I think it's got a learning curve. I'm not going to lie. If you don't play this game that much, if you get Atlas, I imagine you bash your head into a wall. Because this map has got so much in it that you're not going to learn it if you're playing it once every 50 games. Like, it does take some time to understand this map. Because there are a lot of pathways, a lot of ways to rotate, a lot of ways to move, but that's how Flashpoint kind of should be. And if you're not a fan of that, I understand why you don't like Flashpoint, but I think this is the way Overwatch 2 is played. Overwatch 2 is quick. It is actually quicker than Overwatch 1. Even though there's 2 less people, it is quicker. The focus is a lot more on speed, moving between places at like a rapid rate, get in and out quickly. And this map and Flashpoint in general really works for that. And that's why I think Atlas is quite strong. I don't like New Junk though. I think it's fine because again, as a Flashpoint map and the rework was pretty good. There's lots of options, lots of things to do. It's pretty good. Just not as good as Suravasa. Suravasa is probably one of the best maps in the game. Suravasa is good. I just played a game of Suravasa and it felt so nice. Again, every point on this Flashpoint map feels like its own unique, distinct fight. And that's great. And there's lots of options, lots of weird, fun fights that happen on your way between different rotations, between different positions. It's super fun. And there's a reason people like this map. And there's a reason even casuals are starting to really like appreciate Suravasa. I think this map nailed it very, very well. I think Atlas has potential to be better, but I think this map is more complicated. And so kind of shoots itself in the foot a little bit. But over time, I think I might slowly prefer Atlas. But Suravasa is also really good. And that's really it. I'm probably going to stop this like here. I will speed run all of these because these are real pointless. I mean, I might not even do the Lucio Ball ones. But this is the main core game mode maps. So that's that. I'm going to check quickly. Let me pull this up. Where's my tab gone? I want to know what I did last time. And I want to see what's changed. Look at the old room, bro. The hair. My hair's longer now. Fuck. When I made this, 8th of July. Am I blocking one of the maps on my thing? I fucking am. Jesus Christ, there's so many maps in S tier. Holy. Alright, wait. There's not even an extra tier. Wait. Let me get this back before I did all the 2CP slop. Man, the 2CP maps were like embedded. Okay. I can vote S. I've moved it down now. Volskaya, like, I think I was being relative to 2CP. That's the difference. I rated this one, individually, the map. This was, I think I said to myself, is it an S tier control map? Then it goes in S. So that's why it's different. Rialto's gone way down. Nepal's even gone down. It wouldn't even be the S tier one right now. Nukinshi's gone way down. Servasa's been the same place. I literally don't even know what the other one is. still, my highest is still different, so it makes sense. Okay, anyway, Parisia, I would put way down. Fucking Hanamura, I'd even put down. Kings Row, probably, maybe I put lower down. Midtown, I'd put way down. Why that? I mean, that's not Midtown, that's Hollywood. Why the hell was Hollywood so high? Am I like crazy? Was I on crack cocaine? Gibraltar, I'd put down. Lijiang, same place. Don't know what's over here. Nambani, yeah. Down, way down, Shambali. Ilios, yeah. Tartar, yeah. I mean, my opinion hasn't changed drastically. I think Dorado I've liked a lot more, and I've liked Oasis a lot more, and I dislike Rialto and Eichenwald more. But this is such a bad tier list because I did it in, I don't even know how much I like individually. Sorry about that. Oh, whatever. Anyway, here's my tier list. And that's it.